And just like that, another season is coming to an end. I'm recording this video towards the end of August 2023 as we're about to head into fall. And if you've been way too busy this summer to keep up with what's been going on in the real estate world, this video will get you caught up on what's currently going on. Real quick, if you haven't been here before, my name is LOR VANG. I'm a local real estate agent with eXp Realty in the greater Milwaukee, Wisconsin market. And if you have not been paying attention to the news, interest rates are the talk of the town. And so interest rates have been continuing to climb up, and they have not been this high since 20 years ago. So right now, if you are looking at a conventional 30-year fixed rate loan, you are looking somewhere around 7.25% at the time of this recording. And if you're looking at FHA 30-year loan, then you are looking around 7% for that. And of course, the question is, where do the rates go from here? And at the beginning of the year, a lot of the economists were predicting that the rates would be climbing gradually in 2023. And they did that. They were steady somewhat in between the low sixes to the high sixes. But now we're climbing into the 7%. And a lot of the economists had also said, well, towards the end of 2023, we should start seeing the rates drop. Well, right now we're approaching 7.25%. And I'm not really certain if those rates are going to drop even below the 6 anymore at this point, because we're already in the 7s. So if anything, some of the economists are now changing the prediction to say that it's going to get worse before it gets better. So potentially what that might mean, we might get up into the mid 7s, close to 8s. And then maybe in later 2024, the rates will start to drop. But of course, nobody really knows when that's going to happen or how big of a drop that they are talking about, right? And so if you are currently a buyer in the market that's still shopping, or you are a buyer that's potentially thinking about getting into the market, well, the next question you might have is, should I wait for the interest rates to drop before I buy a home? And my answer to that is no. Stop focusing on the things that you cannot control. You can't control the interest rates. You can't control what the market does. But you can control what you do. And that is be financially prepared, have your savings and your finances ready to go. So that when you do find that home that you like and that you can still afford to buy, you are ready and you can do it quickly. Because I have seen so many of my own clients that tell me, oh, I'm just going to wait for this to happen or for that to happen. And even in 2021, when rates were 3%, I had a client that said, hey, people are bidding too crazy right now. They're going 20K, 50K, 75K over, but the rates are 3%. So people could afford to bid high. And so he didn't want to compete, so he sat on the sidelines until 2022 came along. 2022 came along, rates were 5%. And then he's like, oh, you know what? Rates are too high for me right now. I'm going to wait again, and I'm going to see if the rates drop. And if the prices come down, because, the prices just kept going up as well. Well, here we are, 2023. Interest rates are 7.25%. And did the prices drop? No, they didn't drop. So now it's even more expensive. So by waiting and waiting and waiting for the right time, you just kind of shoot yourself in the foot. So do not wait for the things that you can't control. Just take action, buy that home, enjoy the home right away, and benefit from the appreciation that it will bring to you and your family. Another thing to think about when you are looking to purchase a home or a property is you have to think about it in the long-term mindset. So in the long game, how long do you plan to hold that property or live in it? If you are planning to stay there or hold it for at least 5+ years, more than likely the interest rates will drop. And when that does happen, then you can go refinance to get that lower rate. So while you're buying that property, that home, day one, it might not be at the rate that you like. However, if you can afford it, why not get it? And so then 5 years down the line, as you are still paying down that debt as well, you're building up your equity and you can refinance And so now you get a lower interest rate and you have equity appreciation. Versus if you waited 5 years or whatever amount of time that it takes for the rate to drop down to a rate that you like. Now, if you're trying to buy a home, what is going to happen to that price of that home that you want from today to 5 years in the future? Do you think that price is going to stay the same even when interest rates drop? It's not. So it's still going to be expensive for you to buy that home even at a lower interest rate in the future because prices will continue to move. So like I'm saying, if you can buy that home today, right now, you can still afford it at the interest rate right now, go ahead, get in that home, start enjoying it and benefiting from the appreciation that it will bring. There are some additional benefits to staying in the market, as many other buyers are being fearful and running out of the market. And some of those are, of course, less competition. And so what does less competition do for you as a buyer? Well, that means that there's going to be less chances of a bidding war. And it also puts pressures on sellers because now that there's less buyers competing for their homes are going to sit a little bit longer now. And so they might start dropping prices to price the homes more correctly. They might also be willing to take an offer that is less than what they're asking for. And so you as a buyer, you have negotiation power now. You can potentially get things that you weren't able to previously, such as a home inspection or closing cost credits or asking for rate buy downs. And so all of these things can help you as a buyer get into a home when you previously cannot, when the buyer's market was completely insane. On the other hand, if you decide to get out of the buyer pool and wait in the sidelines with the rest of the buyers and just watch those interest rates and see if they drop by 0.5%, 1%, 1.5%, what do you think is going to happen when all those buyers see that? Everybody's going to jump right back into the pool and we're going to have another crazy seller's market. And we already know how that's going to turn out. Crazy overbidding, over asking price, as well as bidding wars, waiving contingencies left and right, and basically sellers having all the power. So let me ask you, would you rather buy a house when the interest rates are, yes, a little bit higher? However, you have the power to negotiate. You have the power to ask for a price under the list price, and you don't have to overbid. And you can get seller concessions, rate buy downs, as well as actually have the chance to inspect the home that you will be living in for the next 5, 10 plus years. What sounds better to you? Now, if you are one of those people waiting for that epic real estate crash or even a price correction defined as a drop of 20% in home price, well, I'm here to tell you that you're going to be waiting a very, very long time. That is unlikely to happen. The amount of people in foreclosures right now is currently still very, very low. And even if they were facing foreclosure, many of the homes have equity in them as well as value. So they can just simply sell them off to avoid the foreclosure from ever happening. Another thing that is causing a lot of inventory issues here is that 90% of the homes that have a mortgage, their interest rate is less than 6%. So that means that people are not willing to move out of their home. They're not willing to sell it so that they can go buy a more expensive home at a higher interest rate. That's not going to happen anytime soon. So as you can see, we have a huge housing crisis on our hands. We simply do not have enough supply of existing homes to meet the demand. We don't have enough supply of future new homes being built right now to meet that demand either. And that's because builders can't build fast enough. Cities can't approve the permits for new builds quick enough. We still have supply material issues as well as a lack of skilled labor to build these homes. And so until these supply issues are corrected, we may not see home prices come down anytime soon. With homes being such a hot commodity and prices not likely to change much anytime soon, rates will continue to do their thing and go up and down. And all you can do as a buyer is, if you can afford to buy a home, go ahead and get into it. And when those rates do drop, then you can refinance and take advantage of those lower rates. But for now, do not be so consumed by the things that you cannot control. Do not be so afraid of rates that you just stop yourself from the dream of owning your own home and buying something today when you already can. If you're going to continue to wait, you never know what the prices will do, and you might just be priced out of it entirely in the future. So that is your market update for the end of summer 2023. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, hit the like and the subscribe button. Stay tuned for future content just like this.